It's Julian Lee. Today I'm joined by the fantastic Carl Richards, Tony Lopes, and Christopher Stafford. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Hey, guys.
Pleasure to be here.
All right, we're going to play Jeopardy today. How exciting. And let's get the music on. Now, we're just playing for fun, and then at the end of it, we're going to meet our fantastic guests and learn all about them. Are you ready?
Ready.
Just get on with it, Julian. All right. Here are the categories. Hard. These are like phrases and things with the word hard in them. Nothing risque. Ancient worlds, civil wars, Hollywood legends, inventions, category. Things with cat in them. And Tony Lopes, you could kick things off. What would you like?
Yeah, let's go with hard for 100.
Let's go hard for 100. Fermented apple juice.
Hard cider.
Who was that?
Chris.
Okay, Chris, let's just roll. All right, Chris, you're in control. You just got to shout it out. We're going to go hard on this one.
Okay. Do I have to stay with hard, or can I do Hollywood
You can
Legends
pick
for
whatever you like. Hollywood Legends.
Hollywood Legends for $100.
Okay, these might be old. Brando was 2 when his mum appeared on stage with this dad of Peter and Jane.
Henry Fonda.
No hesitation. Christopher Stafford is on fire. 200. What would you like?
Hollywood Legends for 200.
Hollywood Legends for 200. She won 8 Academy Awards with only her clothes appearing on screen.
Who is Edith Head?
Exactly. Who is Edith Head? Let's take a look. That is correct. Well done, Christopher. Didn't know that one. Off to a great
Hollywood
start.
Legends for 300.
Hollywood Legends for 300. Rebel without a cause who met with an untimely death.
Who is James Dean?
Interestingly enough, that's correct. But also, 3 people in that movie met with an untimely death. Natalie Wood and somebody called Sal. I can't remember who.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, not really.
Hollywood Legends for 400.
Hollywood Legends for 400. In her first film, she sang with Alfalfa Switzer. In her next, she was paired with Lassie. I remember
Who is Shirley
Lassie.
Temple?
Let's take a look. Has anyone else got a guess? Jump in if you've got a guess. Got nothing. I got nothing. Oh, it's old Lizzie. Elizabeth Taylor.
Oh.
Yes, you're still in control. Christopher, what would you like?
Hollywood Legends for 500.
Hollywood Legends 500. Oliver Hardy's co-star in The Fighting Kentuckian.
Stan Laurel.
I was just going to say that. That's good.
Now, okay, ready for a hint? Okay.
It's not Stan Laurel.
He had a huge career in the 50s playing cowboys, known for his height.
John Wayne.
Who was that?
Carl.
Carl. Let's take a look. John Wayne is correct. Carl's on the board. And that was
Good
500
job.
points. So we've got Carl on 500 out of nowhere. Christopher on 700. And poor old Tony is yet to have a crack. Carl, what would you like?
Let's go category.
For 100?
Oh, no.
Sure, for 100.
Malcolm McDowell and Natasha Kinski's perfect roles in 1982.
Who is Arthur?
All right, who said that?
Chris.
Let's take a look. Anyone else want to have a guess? No? It was called Cat People. That's an old movie.
Oh.
You're still in control, Carl. What would you like?
Category 200.
Ancient weapon kept a stone's throw from its target.
Catapult.
Carl, was that you?
That was me, Carl.
Well done. That's correct. What would you like,
Good
Carl?
job.
Category 300.
It gets things going in a chemical reaction.
Catalyst.
Was that you, Carl?
Yes, it was.
Well done. Sorry, I can't see. I've got this big screen in front of me. Maybe if I reduce it down. All right, what would you like, Carl?
Same category, 400.
He likes the cats.
Carl, you're smart.
400.
Thank you.
Elizabeth Taylor character that could have burnt her
Cat on a hot
paws.
tin roof.
Well done, Carl. Sounds good to me. No, but it's wrong.
What was her name though, Carl? In that show.
It's actually Maggie the cat. Sorry, incorrect. Now, normally, I don't have three bustling blokes on the show, so I don't take points off. Would you like to play the real Jeopardy where I take points off for wrong answers, or should we just have correct points give you points? Correct answers give you points, if you know what I mean.
It obviously doesn't matter to me on my end.
That was a goblin. All right, we're just going to continue on. What would you like, Carl?
Let's go category 500.
Category 500. During one in a hospital, your brain should think cheese. During one in a hospital, your brain should think cheese.
Cat scan.
All right, I think Tony Lopes might have jumped in on that one. What do you reckon, gentlemen?
Sounds good.
Yep.
Everyone in agreement? Okay, let's take a look. I don't want anyone upset.
Because this is for real money, right?
That's
Yes.
correct. There will be a check in the mail. A rubber check.
All right, let's go over to hard for 200.
All right, going hard for 200. Descriptive of Mike Hammer, private eye, or a 20-minute egg.
Hard-boiled.
Hard-boiled, Tony. Tony's on fire. Well done. 700 versus 700 versus 1,000. Close game.
Let's go with hard for 300.
Hard for 300. Reason people used to stick a trumpet in their ear.
Hard of hearing.
Hard of hearing, yeah.
Now, was that Carl, followed by Matthew?
Carl.
Hard of hearing street. Well done, Carl. You're in control now.
Same category, 400.
Hard for 400. A stubborn person is often called this.
Hard-headed.
Christopher is correct. Well done, Christopher. You're in control now.
Ancient worlds for 100.
Ancient worlds for 100. Where all roads were supposed to have led.
Rome.
Camelot.
That was
Rome.
Tony Lopes jumping in there. Rome is correct. Well done, Tony. You're in control.
Let's go back to hard for 500.
Hard for 500. Beatles album and film featuring Tell Me Why and You Can't Do That.
Hard Day's
What's
Night.
a hard day's night?
Tony Lopes got that one. Tony's quick draw, McGraw. Well done, Tony. What would you like?
Let's go to Inventions for 100.
Inventions for 100. Fulton's Folly.
What is the steam engine?
Let's take a look. If Christopher's got this one, it is Steam Boat. I'm going to pay that one. I'm going to pay that one. Steam is good enough. You're in control. Christopher Stafford.
Civil Wars for 100.
Civil Wars for 100. With India's help, Bangladesh broke away from this country.
What is Pakistan?
Let's take a look. Christopher Stafford is correct. Well done.
Civil Wars for 200.
Civil Wars for 200. The Cavaliers opposed the close-cropped Roundheads in this country's Civil War. I hope this is not racist. These are old questions. The Cavaliers opposed the close-cropped Roundheads in this country's Civil War. No idea.
What is the Ottoman Empire?
Ottoman Empire. Let's take a look. It is It's England. England was the Roundheads. Phew. That's all right. We can call them names. All right, you're continuing on. Christopher, you're in control still.
Civil Wars for 300.
300. Its starving children symbolized the defeat of this Nigerian region. These are hard.
Wow.
This would have happened in the 80s as well, so...
Ethiopia?
Let's take a look. It is Biafra, which is where the
close.
Jello Biafra got his name. Continuing on, Christopher,
Okay.
what would you like?
I'm getting out of there. Ancient Worlds for 200.
Yeah, that one's tough. Ancient World's 200. Its people called it Kemet color of black from land after flooding by Nile. Its people
What are the Egyptians?
Let's take a look. It's Egypt. We're going to pay that one, Christopher.
Ancient Worlds for 300.
Ancient Worlds for 300 followed the Stone Age, named for copper alloy people used for tools and weapons.
What is the Bronze
Oh,
Age?
you know what?
Let's take a look. Bronze Age is correct. Well done. Christopher Stafford is on fire. He's on 1,800 points versus 1,300 for Tony and 1,300 for Carl. Incredible game.
Ancient Worlds for 400.
Ancient Worlds for 400. The Chinese once regarded calligraphy as a branch of this art.
Ooh. Visual art.
Think about the tool used in calligraphy, Chinese calligraphy. What else is that tool used for?
Painting.
Painting. Tony Lopes, was that you?
Yes.
That's correct. Well done. You're on 1,700.
Wow.
That was a huge 500 points or something. What would you like?
Excellent. Let's go to Inventions for 200.
Inventions for 200. Early ones were called Hobby Horse, Penny Farthing, and High Wheeler.
Bicycle.
Bicycle is correct. Well done, Tony Lopes.
Inventions 300.
Inventions 300. 1899 device for attaching papers that can ruin a computer disk when magnetized.
What's carbon copy?
Paperclip.
Let's take a look. I don't know. Paperclip is correct. Well done, Carl.
Let's go Ancient Worlds 500.
Ancient Worlds 500. Civilization of sailors that developed first Western alphabet. So who invented the alphabet? I always thought it was someone in the Middle East. I don't know if they did too much sailing over there, but or the Greeks maybe, or maybe it's the ones with the long blonde hair and blonde beards.
Vikings.
The Vikings.
That'd be the sailors. Let's take a look, shall we? Who said Vikings first?
Carl did.
Carl, let's take a look. It is actually the Phoenicians. Were they sort of around the Egypt?
Oh.
They were in the Middle East, but pretty obscure. Still in control. What would you like?
400. Inventions.
Inventions 400. After inventing the lever and pulley, this Greek said, "I will move the earth."
Who was Plato?
Plato, yes, might be. What about the one that came up with an idea when he was sitting in the bathtub and the water displaced? I don't know if you know that one.
Was that Aristotle?
No, it starts with an A though, but I'm not sure. Could be any of these. So we got Pluto and Aristotle.
Plato.
Plato.
Yeah.
Pluto's from Disney. All right,
Is it Pluto?
Let's take a look. It is Archimedes. Yes, that's the bath time one. He did all sorts of
never
experiments. That's why. Can't believe that. Yeah, anyway, you're in control still, Carl. What would you like?
Oh, Inventions 500.
Inventions 500. First one to attempt sinking a warship was the Turtle in the Revolutionary War.
Submarine.
Okay, let's
Who are the British?
okay, so we've got submarine British, and what about something that you might shoot underwater?
Oh, torpedo.
Torpedo.
All right, let's take a look. It's actually submarine. Was that Christopher?
No, that was me.
No, it was
Tony
I
Lopes.
think.
Well done, Tony. And you're in control. Last two.
All right, let's go to Civil Wars 400.
Civil Wars 400. Symbolic colours of opposing sides in Northern Ireland. Okay, think of the flag.
What's green and white?
Ooh, I think it's another one. Green is correct. Have you ever seen
Green
those
and black?
people that march and they wear these distinct colour?
And green and blue.
Come on, we got no paddies here? No paddies?
Is it green and red?
Green and red? No, I think it's green and orange. Let's take a look.
Oh,
Green and orange is...
orange is
idea.
close to red.
Yeah,
Just
not
saying.
really. All right, last question. Let's take a look. Name of Franco's party in Spain and main Christian party in Lebanon. Now, whatever this is in Lebanon probably doesn't exist anymore. Franco, wasn't he kind of like a fascist?
He was a
dictator.
dictator.
Yeah.
Nothing for it. What was the
What
name
was
of
his
it?
party called?
Was it the Communist Party?
Let's take a look. It is the Phalange. Sounds a bit
I was close.
strange.
I was in the ballpark.
All right, well, let's wrap things up there and have a round of applause for our guests. We've got Tony Lopes on 2,400, Christopher Stafford 1,800, and Carl's on 1,600. That was an excellent game. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Fast and furious. Well done. All right, a set of steak knives in the mail for you, Tony Lopes. Conditions
Oh,
apply.
excellent. Just what I always wanted.
Yes, hope they might get stuck at customs. All right, now, Tony, because you won, let's learn all about what you're doing. Now, we've got a couple of real estate guys here today. Now, what's your side of the coin as far as real estate goes?
Well, my claim to fame is I got started in real estate and was able to retire at the ripe old age of 44. And so I leveraged that to help people learn how to invest in real estate, right? I have a coaching program. I go on stage speaking about real estate investing. I wrote a book called Freedom at Risk, which outlines all the different ways our freedoms are being stolen from us. And so we use real estate as a way to gain more freedom in our lives. And so that's what I go on podcasts, talk about. That's the coaching that I do and going on stage and all things there, just trying to help people achieve more, whatever achieve more means for them. We use real estate to help people achieve more in their lives.
And when we talk about real estate in this regard, we're talking about buying properties, investment properties and things like that. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah. Buying property, investing in something that's going to throw off cash each and every month. So they get another stream of income. If they're working a job, they now have another stream of income where they're getting a cash flow from this property. And then also with that, it brings appreciation of the property over time, over the long term, right? They'll achieve some sort of appreciation. And then they also get some great tax benefits as a result of owning real estate.
And you've got a podcast called Dirty Boots Capital. If people want to chat to Tony, and that's probably a good way to learn about all the stuff you're doing, and if people want to get into real estate. What are some of the mistakes people make in this real estate caper?
Well, the biggest thing is just going in uneducated, right? I mean, the biggest thing you can do to help yourself is learn from somebody who came before you, who's already done it, who's already been successful in some way, that you can see yourself following in their shoes, right? I mean, if I wanted to be a musician, I would find the best musician that is within my circle that I can, reach out to and have that person guide me if I wanted to be a musician, right? I'm not going to talk to my neighbor. I'm not going to talk to my coworker, right? They probably don't know anything about music, right? But, somebody who's in that field that I can reach out to and develop a relationship with, that's who I want to talk to. And that's what I share with others is, if you want to achieve more, as I say, right? If you want to achieve more and use real estate to do it, don't go into it uneducated. Learn from the mistakes from people who have come before you, right? Don't try to learn those on your own because it's going to take too long. It's going to be too hard. It's going to be too messy.
Touche.
Leverage those.
Yeah. And so that's the Dirty Boots Capital podcast. And what if people want to have a chat to you on the website? Do you have calls with people, like Zoom calls? And what are some of the things you do? You have courses and speaking. What's the best type of help that people can get from you?
Yeah, so the first thing I'd share is go to my website, dirtybootscapital.com. Go there, check out all that I do. And then if you want to, engage in a conversation, we have a free 30-minute call. We just jump on a Zoom and we just talk, right? There's no obligation. There's nothing. There's no pressure there. I love talking real estate every day, all day. Just ask my girlfriend. And if they want to reach out to me, they can reach me at my email address is Tony Lopes with an S, Tony Lopes at dirtybootscapital.com.
Okay, sorry, Tony. I've given you the Lopez treatment all podcast. Tony Lopes is the correct pronunciation. All right. Well, thanks very much, Tony. And let's have a chat to Chris. Now, Chris has sold real estate all over San Francisco. Tell us a little bit about your story, Christopher.
So thanks for that. Yes. So I am a current real estate listing agent. Excuse me. I specifically work and coach real estate agents that want to specialize in working with sellers. I've been selling real estate for over 30 years in San Francisco. I'm still in the trenches selling it. And I have a coaching program called the Agent Unleashed Collective. And in the collective, I help listing agents really 10x their listings, 10x their income, and take more time off at the same time. Basically teaching listing agents how to really be the most effective and the highest they can be.
And another thing you do is you operate exclusively in a high-end market. And I know a lot of real estate agents really want to get into one of these higher gross areas. What are some of the tips you've got that will allow people to break in and be successful in an area like San Francisco?
Well, that's a big component of our coaching program, and that is how to break into the high-end market. And it's really important, I think, that not only that you work with people that are already working the high-end market, but we also have a lot of different techniques in the coaching program that allow people to break in, like hanging out where high net worth individuals hang out. And like I said, working with other agents that are working in the high-end market. And there's a lot of marketing techniques where you can sort of fall into the high-end market. One of the things that we're doing successfully is teaching people how to break into probate listings because you can really break into the high-end market that way.
Is that deceased estates, Chris?
Yeah, probates are basically deceased estates, exactly.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess one of the things out there, if there are any real estate people real estate salespeople and brokers and stuff, and they want to get more listings, if you could give us a 2-minute spiel, what are some of the things people can do immediately that's going to set them up for getting those listings?
Sure. Well, the immediate thing that they should do is go to my website, which is called theagentunleashed.com, and you can book a call with me. You can actually, I have a free masterclass that talks to real estate agents about the strategies they should use to not only break into high-end listings, but to really increase their production and without spinning their wheels. And so that's really the most immediate thing is go to my website, theagentunleashed.com, and book a call with me through my masterclass, my free masterclass. I would say that's the best thing they can do.
Excellent. Sounds like a plan. And I've got all the details in the show notes if you want to have a chat with Chris. And let's pop over to Carl Richards and tell us about what you've been doing. You've written books. You're a TEDx speaker. You've also got a podcast, and you help people with podcasts. So tell us a bit about that. Why should we be having a podcast? Cool. Carl?
Yeah, certainly. We've been very successful in helping coaches, consultants. We just actually pivoted to focusing more with real estate professionals, be they lawyers, land developers, lenders, those types of folks, not only get into the space, but also maintain their shows so they can focus on their business. And it's important because, especially in the real estate space, it's a very crowded, noisy area. So a lot of people are looking to put their best face forward. And when you have a company like ours that helps you do that, you stand a better chance of people seeing you, and then, developing that know, like, and trust factor and building those relationships out.
Yeah, I can imagine that being really good actually for real estate people. If you do a podcast either about a specific area, like what's happening in San Diego, you would get a whole lot of people in the area that you would get to know and all that. Or you could do one sort of like what Tony's doing, which is how to get into investment property. What are the things you need to learn? And it's a great way, because when people are listening to you every day and they're at the gym, their relationship forming is really important. Obviously, it takes a long time to get anywhere with it. What do you tell people, Carl? How long of a commitment is this?
Oh, this is a long game, not a short game. I think when people come in, they think they're going to be the next Joe Rogan or the next, big star.
The next Julian Leahy, even.
Yeah, I was going to say the next.
Just kidding.
No one plays Jeopardy quite like that or runs Jeopardy like that. But no, they'll look at what's out there, and they also we have this metric that we've come accustomed to over years of watching television and listening to radio, and we think that it's the same. It's just an extension of that. Well, it isn't, because this is where you can get really niche, and this is where you can really get in front of your target client. And who is it that you want to have a conversation with? Who is it that you want to bring into the fold? So that's where we start, is helping people, if they haven't already done that work, figure out who's your client avatar, who's your audience, and then build the show from there based on a set of strategies and goals. And we don't even talk about the monetization piece. We're not going to talk about it here either, I'm sure.
Forget
because
that. For a long time.
There's so many other pieces that are more important than whether or not your show is making money. It's about what's the relationship that you're building. And it's not just the show itself. It's what are you doing after the show? Because that's a lot of people eat up that bonus content and all of those things that allow to deepen the relationship.
It's the relationship. I mean, even just from a SEO standpoint, capturing emails, all of that stuff comes along with it. So I know a lot of people turn their nose up at the idea of podcasting. What are some of the things that seem to be stopping people? What do people tell themselves?
I think they tell themselves it's too complicated, it's too expensive, I don't have the time, I don't have the bandwidth, I don't know where to begin. And I think once you identify, okay, well, those are just myths or those are just misconceptions, that then you can move beyond that. There's so many myths and misconceptions out there that we walk people through as they're, I have courses and workshops and presentations that I've given that bust those myths. And then when people are ready to get started, it's usually a coach or usually something happening in the industry when people go, oh, you know what, I have to do this. It's just like there's a certain point in your business where you decide, I'm going to write a book, or I'm going to do this thing that's going to elevate my credibility. And that's essentially what a podcast does. So once those myths are busted, then it makes the journey to having a show like this one so much easier.
Yeah, so there is a bit to know. It's not too overwhelming, but if you want to learn how to do it, and just you just need a little bit of hand holding. Now, Carl's got a podcast about podcasting called Communication Connection Community, the Podcasters Podcast, and you can learn all about the ins and outs of it. How hard is it? What's it going to cost you? Which is nothing. And your website is what's called podcastsolutionsmadesimple.com. And
that's correct.
What happens over there, Carl?
Yeah, if you go to podcastsolutionsmadesimple.com, firstly, the link to our podcast is there, but also there's a lot of information about our team, because we have a team that's working with us, from engineers for sound, video, audio. We also have, because we're a full service solution, we also have, content creators to help you along the journey. We have project managers, we have designers to help with artwork. We have pretty much everything you need to get started and have the show continue. The easiest step is to go to the Get Started page, and there's a quick questionnaire there that walks you through the start journey, and then let's have a conversation.
So this is a full service podcast production thing, right? And so if people are out there and they don't want to even know, they just want to have a link, a microphone, and have somebody take care of the rest. What is all the other stuff that you do behind the scenes?
Yeah, behind the scenes, we actually started billing this a few years ago as you record your content, we do all the rest. So we do everything from, as I said, we've got folks on our team that help create an original score for audio branding, somebody that works with us for our artwork. We have not content creators, but content strategists that help you with a plan for your content, transcription people who work on the back end, SEO for show notes, all kinds of things. And then, of course, the editing, which is all the mixing, finalization, rendering, mastering, all those things editing? That get technical. Yeah, yeah. Editing is not this, but no, seriously, we take the time to make sure that it doesn't lose its authenticity, but it's just cleaned up a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, some of the other story-based, content-based podcasts really need to have editing in there. What about booking for the interview-type podcasts? Do you do that as well?
Yeah, we don't do that. We have a resource that we will share with people, and if they don't have the bandwidth to book guests themselves, then we will help them using that resource to basically represent them or to speak on their behalf to get guests. But it's not something, it's an industry within the industry. It's its own entity. There's so many great companies out there too that do that, but we will help in the sense of
you
using that resource.
Get a VA and give them the login to one of the Podmatch or whatever.
Sure.
and
yeah,
get
that's exactly what we would do. Yeah. Is connect that way.
Awesome. Well, if you are looking to get a podcast up and running and you don't want to put yourself through all the pain and misery that I go through on a daily basis, then have a chat to Carl at Podcast Solutions. Made simple. Thanks to our wonderful guests. That was a great episode. All of the show notes and contact stuff for all of our guests is in the show notes, so make sure you check them out. Follow their podcasts. Book a call. And thanks very much to our guests today. Tony Lopes, Christopher Stafford, and Carl Richards. See you next